Coach, what are you seeing so far this spring that it gives you a little more enthusiasm for what you're going to have in the fall?
Yeah, so as you guys know, we lost two starters. So we have some experience coming back. Jacob being out was some of that experience. But the guys have come in this spring and they've really dug in and tried to learn the defense. And then the reps they're putting on the field right now, I feel like we're steadily kind of taking steps each day.
Who are some of the younger players that have really stepped up and made an impact through the first two?
So in terms of young guys, Ben Roberts is a guy that's stepped in and taken a lot of reps for us. Ben's a redshirt freshman. And then the other young guy that's taking a lot of reps right now is Wes Smith. Wes is from Midland, and he actually played special teams quite a bit last year, did not redshirt. He'll be a sophomore this year.
Coach, how's Ty looked so far?
Ty Matthews?
Ty Cochran.
Ty Kanya? Yeah, so Ty's another, I don't think of as a young guy because he's been here for so long now. He came in early, but Ty's another guy that stepped in, taking some reps this spring. He's played Will and Mike, so he's versatile. I like Ty's utility, and he's taking steps each day too.
Coach, you mentioned losing the two starters. Can you just describe how big of voids they leave Kosai and?
Well, yeah, percentage-wise, the starters probably played, those Cochran and Kosai probably played, I want to say at least 70+% of the snaps last year at inside backers. So obviously there's a void there, but as a program we recruit and develop. So we'd like to think that we were developing guys last year, continue to develop them in the off season and into spring, and we got another period of time in the summer and fall camp to keep developing. So just trying to get those guys stacked days.
I guess how big does getting Josiah into the room and how has he looked this spring?
Yeah, Josiah played a lot of snaps outside last year. Naturally he was an inside backer, so moving him to inside backer, he had an idea of the defense, so some vet experience, but getting some depth there at inside backer with Josiah has been big.
And Ty Matthews obviously played a good bit last year in that rotation.
Yeah. So Ty came in last year, was a key backup. With basketball terms, he's the sixth man. Versatile, really smart. Played Will and Mike. And he's kind of stepped in to take a lot of those reps this spring as an older guy, as a vet. He can play both positions, so he brings a lot to the table.
I noticed in the drills video y'all did the other day, he introduced himself as Marcel Matthews.
It's the first time I ever heard that. I asked him again today what name he used. It's his middle name. But he's never introduced himself as that, so that was new for me. I think Wes Smith was after him, had to compose himself to introduce himself because he was trying to hold back a laugh.
How is this room coming together? I mean, it seems like there's jokesters and pranksters, and they want to test you. How has this room come together, and for the expectations that you have on them this year?
Well, year two, I think for everybody is big, right? So I've got a year in the defense coaching Coach DeRuyter's defense. They've got most of them a year playing in it. We have a lot of fun together. We spend a lot of time together. And so I think the bonds have been built over the last year. And then going into year two, we know each other obviously better. They know what to expect from me. They know my expectations for them. And we can tell them the truth, and they've been really coachable and trying to grow.
What have you seen from first scrimmage to last scrimmage that has shown? Have you seen bigger growth than you've seen in the past, or have you seen slow, steady growth?
Well, I see growth because after the first scrimmage, going into kind of the latter part of that next week and in the second scrimmage, the installs kind of leveled off. So as the install levels off and you bank more reps in what we have installed for the spring, you can start to see guys playing faster with confidence. So I've seen that over the last week.
You mentioned Wes Smith a moment ago, and Joey has talked a little bit about Ben Roberts. You mentioned Wes Smith as well. The fact that he came here as a walk-on, what has he done to catch y'all's eye?
I mean, Wes is a coach's dream. I mean, he comes to work every day, practices his tail off. He's tough. He's hardworking. He's competitive. I mean, it's West Texas. He's a West Texas kid, and I mean, he's everything that you want, from a linebacker at Texas Tech to be. And he's just steadily gotten better and better and better. And he's put himself in a position to help us.
Kosai, when we talked to him late in the season last year, so it was a conversation with you that started his push, I guess, to get that Aaron story way back in September. How frustrating has it been for it to stretch out as long as it has?
Yeah, I don't know how much I
Joe-
can
Joe-
expound on that. Whatever Joey said, it's obviously trying to get an answer is tough. You're kind of pounding the table, trying to just get something back for the kid's sake, right? So that he can really nail down his next steps. So yeah, I mean it's been frustrating, but he's still going through the process.
As you go through the final week, preparing for the spring game and banking all these practices in, what do you want to see for the final spring game, and what level of confidence will you have on this team going into fall?
Well, this last week is the sense of urgency, right? We're running out of opportunities. And so that has been like my message this week is the sense of urgency with which we have to approach it was 6 practices to start the week. I thought today we had a great meeting, and there was some great dialogue in the meeting that I think carried over to the field, and I saw us take a big step today, which was encouraging. But just this last week, the sense of urgency with which we have only this short time together, in pads. So that's been the message going into this last week and a half.
What similarities do you see between Rashawn and Josiah playing that position, and how are they different playing that position?
I mean, just physically, Josiah's a bigger guy, and I think his body's still making the transition from outside to inside, playing on the edge to inside, which he'll continue to. He's been doing a great job with the strength staff and nutrition and all that. It's hard to say because haven't coached Josiah long enough to really tell how they're similar and different. I think they're both guys that are good in between the tackles and have a nose for the ball, which I think probably sticks out the most in my mind how they're similar. Josiah's doing a good job and he's grown.
A year in the 806, what's the best thing about Lubbock?
Oh man, the people, hands down, the people. I tell people ask me all the time. My wife is Canadian, right? She's from Vancouver, and so first of all, I moved her to Texas the first time in the middle of July, 8 months pregnant, and so she stuck with me through that. So that was a big deal. And so then coming to Lubbock, I didn't know what to expect. She didn't know what to expect. But she is absolutely fallen in love with it. We got 3 kids, and they love it here. They tell our family everything that's going on in Lubbock all the time. Our family's fallen in love with it. We love it here. So, but I would say the people have made it home.
How and where did you meet your wife?
So she was a track coach by trade, and we were both coaching at the same school, and we met that way. So.
School?
We were at Liberty in Virginia. Yeah.
So what's the best thing about your wife?
The best thing about my wife, she does the heavy lifting. She does everything. She does everything on the home front so that I can do the best job in the entire world.
All right. Thanks, Book.
Yep.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all.
Cochran here, second. What role do you see Jaden York having this upcoming season?
Jaden has made a huge impact this spring. Just seeing his progression from last spring to this spring has been phenomenal. I think he's obviously going to be a core 4 guy on special teams, going to play on all of them, be a stud on all of them. But he's also going to help us in offense. He's going to have, we're so deep in my room, but he will get reps and will do a good job for us.
What's the advantage of having such a deep room and being able to get what you want out of each of these fellas?
Yeah, having a deep room is always good just from a depth perspective of if a guy gets tired, you can just throw the next guy in, you still feel comfortable, you still feel good. There's so many times when you're worried about depth, it's like one guy goes down and you're in a panic. We just have a next man up mentality in our room, and it's a huge advantage for us.
What have you seen so far in the first 2 scrimmages that gives you confidence on that there's growth and from when you first got here to today?
There's a lot of areas, a whole lot of areas. Just from an offensive perspective, I'd say the tempo we're playing at, it's becoming natural. It's becoming normal for us. And then from my tight end room, they're playing with a level of physicality that I haven't seen from tight ends probably ever. So I'm extremely fired up about that, and they're making some huge plays in the red zone. We're trying to get that mindset of if the ball's in the air, it's our ball. They're making a lot of progress on both sides.
So who's shown the biggest growth this year?
That's a tough question. They're all doing a really good job. Baylor Cup has done a phenomenal job in terms of run blocking from when he got here last spring to now. He's kind of gotten a mindset of he's okay dominating a guy in front of him. That's normal to him now. But Jaden York's another guy. I've been extremely excited about the progress he's making and just his ability to make plays in the pass game and the run game.
Coach, how involved is Mason Tharp been? I've noticed he's been in the non-con jersey, but how much has he been able to work in with y'all?
Yeah, he's getting a lot of reps. He is in that non-contact jersey. But that's really just from a perspective of, Coach McGuire's philosophy, our staff's philosophy. We're going to take care of our guys. We know what he can do. We know he's shown it last year. And we're just playing it safe and taking care of our guys. But he's still getting, a lot of reps. We get a report of the player load and how many yards they're running. And he's up there with the other guys. So he's getting just as much work as everybody.
If you had to put a percentage on it, I guess, how much do you split the time between blocking drills and pass catching drills?
It's kind of what we're needing at the time. We do try and focus a little bit more during practice on the run side of things, just because we have the pads on, and then our pre-practice drill work. A lot of times that's kind of our pass stuff. We get with the quarterbacks at least once a week, quarterbacks and receivers, and we're doing the routes on air, we're doing the quick game stuff, just seeing ourselves as an extension of the pass game and seeing ourselves as a receiver.
Coach, you mentioned depth. Just how big was it to get Henry Teeter back for that extra year, and what has he brought to this spring?
Teeter is the brand. He is a guy that he is as tough as anyone. He's going to work as hard as anyone, and he's going to compete as much as anyone. So having him right, he's like the glue to my room. The leadership that he brings, and not just to the tight end room, but really to the entire team. Guys feed off his energy. He's a guy that's going to always crack a joke, and people just love being around him. So we were really excited to get him back, and it's kind of giving him a perspective of making this last one a fun one. So he's having fun.
Considering all four of those top guys returning at your position, when last season ended, was there a specific objective that you had for this spring in terms of what we need to do? Our group needs to do this better.
Yeah, I think. I kind of split that in the run and the pass game. In the pass game, we need to kind of that mindset that I was talking about of if a ball's in the air, it's mine. We have some huge bodies. One thing we're blessed with is size. Mason 6'7", he's 265. Baylor's legit, or basically 6'9". Baylor's is legit 6'6", 260. So the ability to use our body and separate our hands from the ball, and it's been really good to see that progression. And then also just in the run game, I think as much split zone as we're running, as much counter as we're running, just the ability to kind of control your body in space, which Lance has done a really good job this offseason with that, and I've seen a lot of improvement in that this spring too.
As last year, when you got here, just had a new baby, and I'd asked you how many diapers had you changed.
Yeah.
Now she's approaching the terrible twos.
Oh boy.
How is that going?
Yeah, we're having a blast. We really are. My wife is the best coach's wife, and they're at every practice. They never miss a practice, and the guys have really become her big brother. So it's been really cool to see just that progress, and she's about to start She just turned 1, so she's kind of walking and falling, but she never quits talking. So she's fun.
What have you seen from this coaching staff that makes you feel like this is a special team and a special year?
Yeah, I've never had so much fun in my life, and that's just complete honesty. This coaching staff loves coming into work every day, and that starts with the head man. That starts with Coach McGuire. The energy he brings to work every day, good day, bad day, he's going to bring the same energy, just the consistent. And we kind of have the motto of how lucky are we as a staff, how lucky are we to get to come out here and coach the best sport in the world and work with some of the best kids you'll ever meet in your life. And so having that mindset going into work every day, I really think this place is going to continue to rise and be a special place because of that.
Anything else?
I can't remember if I've asked you this before, but how often, if any, do you get confused with Zach Kidler?
All the time.
Confused for Zach.
All the time, which is it's funny. I think it was after the Texas game. I'm up in the box, and of course, kids calling from the field. I got pictures after the game. They're like, they're saying he's up in the box, but they're showing you. And then in the town all the time, I've started to just accept it. I mean, who doesn't want to be Zach Kitley, right? I mean, I want to be the Wizard, so I just accept it. And I know all about his family, so I just tell him family's doing great. Ford's he's starting to walk, he's doing awesome. So no, it happens a lot.
They ask you about Shuck and Barron and.
Oh yeah, all the time. What's QB room looking like? So it's it is pretty funny. It happens a lot.
All right. What players are in second?
Thanks, y'all.